Good morning, friends. Today we are going to continue the another part of the Unit 1 of Analytical Chemistry. In the last two lectures, we have discussed all about the sampling, general terms involved in the sampling, and how the different types of the material is sampled. Especially, we have seen the sampling of the solid, then the sampling of the liquid. Now, the third part is the sampling of the gases. As compared to the liquid and the solid, the sampling of the gases is totally different. All gases are immiscible with each other in all proportion, and drawing of the gaseous sample is problematic. See, as compared to the solid and liquid, it is very different because these gases are immiscible with each other. That's why the drawing of the gases sample is problematic. The main problem being of the contamination by the atmosphere or ambient air, because gases are freely moving in the atmosphere, and there is a big problem of the contamination is there. In a polluted atmosphere, fast warning of a dangerous situation is important, and the sampling procedure must be adopted to that. When the pollution is there, at that time, so many gases are mixed with each other, there is a contamination, and sampling of such a situation is very much important. Gas are found in gas wells, processing of plants, city distribution system, storage holders, open atmosphere, and so on. In general, the sampling apparatus consists of, for handling or say for sampling the gases, the one apparatus is there having the common parts. First part is the sampling probe, second one is the sample delivering line, and third one is the sample container. Number one, you can see here in the diagram, the general diagram has been shown. Sample container is there, then the sample flowing line is there, sampling probe is there. You can see one line is going to pump, one line is going to the gas cylinder, and another one is the first of all we have to see the sample probe. The sampling probe is that part of the sampling line attached to or extending into a pipe or vessel. This is the sample probe. You can see this is called as a sample probe. Here it is a sample probe. The sample container, it is a vessel. This is part is the sample container. It is a vessel in which the gas sample is collected and retained. Here we can store the gas or we can collect the gas. Sample delivering line, the sample line and sample container are fitted with stopcock to control the flow of gas and to effect the opening and the closing the vessel. See, you can see here stopcock are there. A and C, you can see this stopcock are there. This A and especially the C, these two stopcock are there. To control the flow of gas and to efficient this is the general assembly used for sampling of the gases. Three parts are there. Sample probe is there, then the sample container is there, and the third sample delivering line is there. Now there are again the different types of this particular sampling. One is the ambient sampling, second one is the stack sampling or say displacement method, third one is the flushing method. That three methods we have to see in case of the sampling of the gases. Now ambient sampling is also called as atmospheric sampling. Ambient sampling means sampling of the air. Here we have to sample the air. Gases may exist in a free state in air or they may be stored. Ambient sampling or atmospheric sampling is rather difficult. It is very difficult. In the ambient sampling method, the sample container is evacuated by working the pump attached to the container. What is doing in the ambient sampling method? The sample container is evacuated by working the pump attached to the container. The container is also warmed to remove gases adsorbed on the walls. Then second step is you have to warm the container because whatever the gases adsorb on the walls that we have to remove. The sample probe is then inserted into the gas. The excess gas pass out through the mercury trap. This you can see mercury vessel is there in which the sample probe is inserted. This method is mainly applicable to draw samples of ambient gas such as the atmosphere or containers filled with gas at the atmospheric pressure. An accurate air flow device must be used to trap the contaminants. Hence, it can be referred as ambient sampling. What is there in the ambient sampling? What we are doing? First of all, what you have to do? The sample container is evacuated by working the pump attached to the container. Then second container you have to warm to remove the gases adsorbed on the wall of the container. Then the sample probe is then inserted into the gas. Excess gas pass out through the mercury trap. This method is especially applicable to draw samples of ambient gas such as the atmosphere or containers filled with the gas at the atmospheric pressure. An accurate airflow device must be used to trap the contaminants in the air. Hence, it can be referred as ambient sampling. Then the second type of the sampling is the stack sampling or displacement method. A liquid, generally mercury, water or saturated salt solution, is used to displace all the air from the sample container, sample probe and delivery line. This method is similar to the collection of oxygen in laboratory by displacement of water. This method is used mainly to draw sample from cylinder filled with gas at higher pressure. In other words, stacked gas hence can be referred to as a stacked sampling. See, here the important thing is that generally a liquid, mercury, water or saturated salt solution is used to displace all the air from the sample container, sample probe and delivery line. This method is similar to the collection of the oxygen in the laboratory by displacement of water. This method is mainly used to draw the sample from the cylinder filled with the gas at higher pressure. When the gas is filled in the cylinder at higher pressure, that process is nothing but a stacking. Also you can call the stack. Hence, this particular sampling is referred as the stack sampling. This method is, however, not suitable for accurate sampling because some of the dissolved suitable for accurate sampling because some of the constituent of gas mixture being sampled may dissolve in the displaced liquid. Another possibility is that the sample gas may be saturated with the vapors of the liquid. The industrial gases are generally sampled continuously as they flow through pipes by this method. This method is suitable for This is not suitable for accurate sampling because some of the gas constituent being sampled may dissolve in the displaced liquid. And another possibility is that the sample gas may be saturated with the vapors of the liquid. The industrial gases are generally sampled continuously as they flow through the pipes by this method. Industrial samples or say industrial gases, they are sampled by this displacement method or say stack sampling. Now and then the next is the flushing method. Air in the sample container is completely removed or flushed out by the gas being sampled. This may be done by apparatus shown in the figure. Initially the stopcock B is closed. The probe is inserted into the gas container and the stopcock A, C and D are open. The gas flow, you can see this diagram. Here all these stopcock has been shown, A, B, C and this one is the D. Okay, this is a diagram that we have already so drawn. In the flushing method, air in the sample container is completely removed or flushed out by the gas being sampled. This may be done by the apparatus shown in the figure as I shown. Initially the stopcock B is closed. The probe is inserted into the gas container and the stopcock A, C and D are opened. The gas flow into the sample container and displaces air from it. When it is determined that air has been completely flushed out, A is closed and gas is allowed to completely fill the container. Stopcock C and D are then closed. This is the flushing method. In the flushing method, what we have to do? Air in the sample container we have to completely remove or flush out by the gas being sampled. As we have seen in the figure, initially stopcock B should be the closed, then probe should have to insert into the gas container, and stopcock A, C and D should be open. The gas flow into the sample container and displaces air from it. When it is determined that air has been completely flushed out, A is closed, and then gas is allowed to completely fill the container. Stopcock C and D are then closed. Now these are all about the sampling of the gases. We have seen ambient sampling, stack sampling, and flushing sampling, also flushing method of the sampling of the gas. One common apparatus is used, just the steps followed in that are different. Now collection, preservation and dissolution of sample. Now in the sampling, the collection is very much important, then the preservation, and then third step is the dissolution. Collection of sample depends on the nature of the sample, its physical state and chemical properties. Physical state, that is nothing but a solid liquid gas, and its chemical property on which the collection is dependent. Preservation, the following points must be considered for preservation of the sample in the container. Sample should retain its physical properties and chemical properties. First, there should not be any change in their physical and chemical properties. Sample should not react with the material of the container. This we have to take the precaution during the preservation. Container composition should not change due to physical process like volatilization. Means volatile nature of the gas, that should not affect the container composition. The components of the sample should not react among themselves. Whatever the components of the gases are there or the sample is there, they should not react among themselves. Then the dissolution of the sample. The dissolution agent chosen should be able to dissolve the sample completely. The solvent selected should not interfere with the possible measurements to be done in the solution form. Volatilization of the components should not occur. The dissolution process is mainly accompanied by heating. Hydrochloric acid is an excellent solvent for metal oxide and metals above hydrogen. Then hydrofluoric acid is used only for the dissolution of silicates. Hydrofluoric acid, that is nothing but the HF, and hydrochloric acid is nothing but the HCl. Give the major advantages of the microwave decomposition. The distinct advantage of microwave decomposition as compared to the conventional method is speed and ease of operation. Other major advantage of the microwave decomposition is that loss of volatile components due to evaporation during dissolution process is negligible. It is easy automation, reducing time, practically no sample preparation before subjecting to the dissolution. Microwave decomposition is very much important. What is a flux? Where it is used? Some mineral oxide some mineral oxides, silicates, iron alloys, etc. are difficult to soluble as they are not easily decomposed, and if they decompose the process is very slow. In such cases they are decomposed using a fused salt medium. The sample is mixed with alkali metal salt called as flux. What is a flux? Flux is nothing but the sample when mixed with the alkali metal salt. It's called as a flux. The combined mixture is then fused to form water soluble product called as melt. The flux is used for high concentration of reagents to bring the sample in solution from. Hot HNO3 with other oxidizing agent like H2O2, Bl2, etc. are used to decompose organic sample. This decomposition process is called wet ashing. It is used to convert CO2 and H2O. Flux decomposes at very high temperature, 300 degree centigrade to the 1000 degree centigrade. Flux is nothing but sample you have to mix with the alkali metal salt, which is called as a flux. Then the combined mixture is then fused to form water soluble product, is called as a melt. This is all about the sampling. The important part of the sampling that we have seen, one question will be there: sampling of the gases, sampling of the solid, sampling of the liquid, and these are the some terms we have seen that are used in case of the sampling. Then we have seen last part is nothing but a collection, preservation and dissolution. That important part that you have to remember in the sampling, we have seen main part that I can again review to you. In the very first lecture we have discussed regarding the sampling. Then we have seen that first of all, definition of the sampling. Sampling is nothing but the study the characteristics of the bulk material without studying the whole of the material. Then we have seen the procedure of the sampling, then steps involved in the sampling, then why the sampling is used, means the purpose of the sampling. There are the three purposes. One is the judging acceptability, detecting contamination, then identifying the material. Then we have seen the significance and the importance of the sampling. Then some terms that are used. What is the sample? Sample is nothing but the small quantity which is removed from the bulk to analyze for analysis, is called as the sample. Then sampling procedure, universe or population, sampling unit, increment, then gross sample, subsample, analysis of the sample, that all terms you have to see. Then types of the sampling. One is the random sampling and second one is the non-random sampling. Random sampling is means you can pick the sample from anyway, and non-random sampling, or say it is called a systematic sampling. That means you have to use the scientific procedure. Then difficulties encountered in the sampling that we have seen. Then sampling of the solid. In that we have seen the 4 points: sample size, then multi-stage sampling, sequential sampling, then size reduction method. Then this size reduction can be done by the 3 ways that already we have seen: pruning and a quartering, long pile and a alternate method using the raffles, or rolling and quartering. Then sampling of the compact solids we have seen. Again, in the compact solids we have seen the 4 different things are used: split barrel sampler, split tubes thief, gross sampler, auger sampler, that has been used. Then sampling of the particulate solid, 3 ways can be used to sample the particulate solid: split tube thief, then the concentric tube thief, hand scoop, that already we have discussed. Then sampling of the liquid. Again, there are the 4 types of the liquids: homogeneous liquids, heterogeneous liquids, static liquid, and flowing liquids. How they can sample, that we have seen already. And in the last part we have seen the sampling of the gases. The sampling of the gases is very difficult, as we have seen. The general assembly used for the sampled gases is, we have already seen. There are the ambient sampling, stack sampling, and third one is the flushing method of sampling the gases. Then collection, preservation, and dissolution of the sample that we have seen. And in the last we have seen the advantages of the microwave decomposition and what is the flux, where it is used. This is whole part about your sampling. You have to prepare this topic well, because it is very simple topic. In that you have to remember the logical things. While preparing for the exam, you have to write in your own words whatever is in the notes, and that you have to read it again. First of all, while preparing this lesson, always you have to read this. While studying the analytical chemistry, you have to read all the concept very well, again and again. Don't mug up. First of all, try to understand what is there. In the simple way, you have to remember all these things. Sampling is the important part in the point of the in the chemical analysis. If you have any problem or say doubt, you are free to ask any queries on the Google Classroom or say your class group.